Yeah, I pretty much brought that.
Oh, Envoy! You have to help me. If I have to listen to this twig of a recruit tell his stories for even one more minute, I'll probably die. Wonderful! Even a few seconds of talking to someone more interesting is like a breath of fresh air. It's great to meet you. Ranger Iziana Dorso at your service. All right, but make it quick. I'm obviously very busy. Kidding, of course. Before you ask, I know you're trying to find your supposed killer among the squad, and I really don't know much about it. Frankly, I think she's overreacting to a late report. Monato might be our best tracker, but he doesn't put a lot of stock in patrol rotation, rest days, or Asierno's toothless protocols. Verano and I are stationed on opposite ends of the valley. I hardly ever see the man except in passing. Casagrada is his partner, supposedly. You want to know more, ask him. He's a competent fool. No different from most of our recruits. And this land is cruel. I give him 6 months, maybe a year. Monato's always been acting strangely. Most paranoid man I've ever known. Thinks everyone's out to get him. Me, you, your steel garrote. Gods only know why. But one thing's for sure. You won't find him if he doesn't want to be found. Ugh, there's too many of them. Check in twice a day, sign the patrol roster, write your reports, keep up with the bulletin board, make sure the recruits are cleaning their gear.
Come on. You can't maintain a fighting force with shoddy equipment and poor discipline.
It's busy work. She says it's meant to protect us, but all of us took this job knowing it was dangerous. We should be out there killing the creatures attacking our farmers, not writing 5-paragraph essays on bandit movements.
You have a point.
Half of these kids can hardly read. The last thing I heard was that Monato was going to scout out the ogre camp. From here, cross the northern bridge and follow the path west. The path will become a cobblestone road and pass through the swamp. You'll find a cave in the hillside. Should pick up Monato's trail around there. It was claimed by an old animancer years ago. He and the ogre are, friends. I have no idea what they got up to in there. Experimenting on Zarebs, probably. I couldn't tell you what's there now. I don't know anyone who could. The animancer struck a deal with Asierno. We're not allowed to go there. Why Monato was headed there is beyond me. But if you want to track down Monato, that would be the first place to look. I'm not Monato's keeper. He's a grown man and can take care of himself. Right. Watch your back out there, Envoy. The Living Lands are a dangerous place.
Hopefully when we find Monato, we can find some answers.
Ah, the Emperor's envoy. Come to interfere in Steel Garrote business again? Meddle in the Steel Garrote's business enough and you'll have more than me to deal with. If you're here to speak with Vidaro, I'm afraid you'll find the governor is quite beyond reason. These Valians and their love of animancy. Fair enough, envoy. Talk to the man all you'd like. When diplomacy fails, the Steel Garrote will be ready to ensure the safety of Adiran interests. We all have our part to play, envoy. Until later.
She's as subtle as a broadside.
Does subtle mean something different outside of solace?
Oh, you startled me. This old woman can get lost in prayer from time to time. You must be the Adiran envoy I've been hearing about. Apologies for any hardships you may have experienced getting here. The failing crops, the strange beasts, and even the dream scourge are all the result of our neglect of the dead. Oh, sure. I can't take the blame for all of Fiore's problems, but my negligence has only made things worse. The dead of Fiore expect certain rituals to be carried out. I have failed to perform those rituals, and now the spirits are angry. We cannot take that chance. There are angry spirits and you know the problems we face. I believe the two are related. Our recent dead require a final meal to ease their passage from life. Without it, they can't rejoin the cycle.
You've got people waiting in line for their next meal, and you want to waste food on the dead?
I got food from the grain merchant stores. I just need someone to leave it at the graves. The dead will take it from there.
Flesh and bone, they bring the fruit to those who cannot eat. What tree calls for its branches to endure these rituals?
This custom goes back a long way. We never had dream thralls or such blight in our crops until now. I like your spirit. I feel better about this already. The first offering goes to a cliffside grave on the southern coast. Loggers from the old days, they sacrificed themselves to make the land habitable and lost their lives to creatures of the untamed forest. The second offering goes to a grave in the swamp, far to the west from here. They buried the bodies of settlers there, intrepid sorts that tried to tame the farther reaches of Emerald Stairs wilds. The final offering should be taken to the truffle farm east of Fiore, where a family lost their lives to the encroaching wilds. I understand how it looks, but appeasing the dead is vital, especially in times like these. I can't thank you enough for helping to ease the conscience of an old lady. Please, return when the rituals are complete.
Genuine healing crystals, purest in all of Eora. If only rejuvenate and revitalize.
They do such lovely work here, don't they?
Hang on. I know you from Solace, right?
I'm afraid I don't know who you are, just as you don't know who I am.
You're blessed a mad. I remember you. I gotcha.
So, we understand each other then. I never thought the world of animancy could be so varied and fascinating. I can make use of so much of this equipment. Yeah, I suppose it's a bit unusual to see one of my people about, but I'm here on important business. If you see anyone else from Sole's Keep, just do me a favor and don't tell them you saw me. I suppose that's fair. Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that then.
But we still don't even know why you're here.
You know what I mean. And Marius, it was good to see you. May you find all you're looking for and more. Please be discreet. Soles Keep wouldn't understand.
Can I interest you? Welcome to Poria in Velino, the finest legitimate apothecary of Emerald Stair. 5 summers ago, business was thriving. But now charlatans are selling crystals and essence enlargers in the streets. Add rumors of Dream Scourge and everyone is buying from these swindlers. At least you've come in. Oh, I could, easily. But in the long run, where would that get me? I would be no better than them. I used to believe animancers would trust science, but I'm beginning to doubt that. At least I don't have to convince you. All ingredients are fully stocked.
Oh, those poor souls. Those Delamgan. They're not at all godlike. I've heard whispers that one of your kind was here in the living lands. It is a pleasure to meet you. In case it wasn't clear, I'm the point of contact for anyone with bounties to turn in. So return to me if you have any to claim. Officially, I'm one of the many researchers here. My specialty is in the anatomy of the many species of Eora. If you must know, Vulpinet, these bounties are more pressing than my research. Someone had to be chosen to man the board. That person happens to be me. At least some of these bounties result in interesting specimens to study. Diverus? You work fast. I see. Then the other bounty hunters did not fare so well. I am glad at least to know of their fate. Perfecto. Return when you have more to claim.
Have you heard? Chiata's causing trouble at the governor's mansion again.
You must admit she has a point. We should do something with the Dream Scourge. Spirits are truly wonderful and powerful, self-aware, and reach with insight.
Insight?
For a refreshment?
Indeed. The spirits have access to lifetimes of knowledge.
A little knowledge would do me good right about now. A pity I must wait until I'm dead.
If you are looking for sanctuary, you have found it. The Gifted Magpie is a house of calm, rational discussion. We have only 2 rules of conduct. Maintain dignity and speak in a soft tone of voice. Cloves, cinnamon, and anise are just a few of the remedies that help foster a peaceful environment. Animancers are miracle workers, but their work breeds obsession, rivalry, and bitter disagreement. Their anxiety keeps me in business. This tea house is where troubled minds come to approach problems from a quieter angle. Fior Mesiverno values individualism, but I much prefer to focus on the health of the community. Now, will there be anything else? Believe it or not, this building was once my father's grain warehouse. One day, a magpie landed on the rafters and spoke fluent Valian to anyone who would listen. Among other things, it told my father the recipe for a blueberry tart. Popular item until the recent troubles. Helia is the goddess of birds and creativity. Yes, the spiritual significance of a talking magpie is debatable. But the tale inspired others to make this a haven of creativity. And so, here we are. Who knows? Either it flew away on bad business, or it was just a metaphor to begin with. A good story knows where to end itself. The bad ones all end in grief. What? I mean, I'm sorry. What? Could you possibly elaborate? Oh no, I mean, oh yes? It's just that these sorts of things happen to other people, but never me. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Get a flute? No one can resist a flute.
It seems I need to gather my wits and figure out what to do next. I have no skill with romance, you see. Oh dear. Regrettably, we are out of tea. My stockpile is exhausted, and the harvest has not kept up with demand. We have other goods for sale, if you care to peruse them. Trinkets I have collected over the years. The fields have been unproductive of late, and what grows has not risen to our standard. I am hopeful that this is a temporary setback and not a sign of things to come.
I have been thinking about
Careful! Or we'll get thrown out of the pub! We're all red.
Pour you a drink? Well, I'll be a godlike in the bone and bore. Apologies for the ruckus outside. The animancers never know when to shut their mouths. You can't take a piece in the fjord without spotting an animancer. But finding an animancer you can trust, that's harder. I try Quilici and Giata. They are the only animancers taking the Dream Scourge seriously. Try telling that to Vidaro and the Animancers. But the rest of us, we've all heard the rumors from outside. Animals gone mad, terrors stalking the wilderness day and night. And there's not much I could do if the rumors are real. That's the worst part about it. Although I admit Fior is in a bad way. Dream scourge or not, we've had crops fail before, but never food rations. The governor says it's just a temporary precaution, but I am not buying it. So, we ought to drink while we can. Agreed? Anything I can get you? What are you fixing to know? Because I don't go out of my way for them. Yeah, they're a finicky bunch. My clientele is more grounded, works hard. They don't put on airs. I like to keep it that way. Of course. Anything else you fancy? Welcome back, envoy.
The crops ruined. All!
Can anything be done?
Look out for her, Fidelio. How hard could that have been?
And the Animancers are useless. You heard them arguing.
Not everyone has the ranger captain breathing down their neck. I don't mean that. I have a lot on my plate. I'd like to be. They're out searching. Someone had to hold down the fort. My two youngest rangers were supposed to report back from their rounds. I assumed they'd turn up. But it's been 3 days now. They're still not here. Three times this month. They're going to be the death of me. They're besotted. I can't get them to think about anything else. Belena and Adalaro were my most promising recruits. Now, all they do is sneak off to, I wouldn't have put it that way, but all right.
Well, there's worse places to make the four-legged beast. I promise you that.
New recruits running off with each other? Oh man, this brings me back. Anyway, I never thought I had any cause for concern. They always found their way back eventually, but they haven't this time. They're out there, all alone, and they could be in danger, and What they're doing is their business, but rangers have to come when they are called. Wait, gods, you're relentless. The point is, they've never been gone this long. The last time I saw them, I sent them to patrol the northern riverbed. If you go that way, please, keep an eye out for them. I'm losing my mind in here.
Two young Nemdutin wandering out by a river. Consider them found.
Maybe we don't look too soon. Give them a while. You know what I mean?
Ado, welcome to my finest. Well, I was not expecting such an esteemed guest in my humble workshop. Are you in need of any weapons or armor? The roads haven't been safe as of late. Is that Gelarde? This is star metal. Very rare stuff. Where did you get this? Nay, don't tell me. I'd be tempted to go looking for some more, and that would certainly not end well. Star metal is exceptionally dense. It weighs much more than one would think from its size. More fascinating, however, is that this metal is suffused with dormant essence. This makes it naturally susceptible to enchantment. No. Unfortunately, I don't know how to work the metal into anything useful. Only enchant it. I did receive a shipment from Sola's Keep recently, however. A mace crafted out of star metal, brought to me by a trader from Galawain's Tusks. I suggest you make your way there if you're looking for someone to work that beautiful metal into a proper weapon.
Gallowayne's tusks? Come on, it can't be that complicated. I bet you 5 skates a Smith and Thirdborn would know what to do with this stuff. And I'll take your money eventually.
Is there anything else I can help you with, amico? Nay, not really. But not all of us in Fior are animancers, you know. Besides humble craftsmen such as myself, we have the rangers to outfit. Under normal circumstances, I'd not sell to a traveler like yourself. But as I'm sure you've seen, these are not normal circumstances. Care to see what I have? Officially no, but I have been known to dabble with essence infusion here and there. I have one such item for sale, actually. A beautiful mace made of star metal, crafted by the finest smiths of Solace Keep and enchanted by yours truly. It is a wonder to behold. Care to see? Welcome to my fine establishment, amico.
Diata, what's the meaning of this?
Look at these crops. Look at your city. The Dream Scourge is laying waste to our home.
There is no Dream Scourge in Emerald Stair.
The land begs to differ, and I can prove it. We are discussing it now.
Affordable, reliable, and verifiable. Honest areas, healing crystals.
can you ignore what's right in front of you? The dream scourge is here, in the soil, and it's killing us. Oh my goodness. Are you a godlike? In that case, you're right on time.
Maybe you can talk some sense into our governor. Put the fear of the gods in him.
Seems more likely you'll have to punch some sense into him.
Excuse me, but unless you have official business, I'll thank you not to involve yourself in our private discussion.
Did you hear that, Ignacy? You should be taking notes.
Ah, of course. The Adiran envoy. Ambassador Hilgard sent a missive telling me to expect you. How delightful. You speak with a measure of authority, but I caution you to remember who's in charge around here.
Now that's what I call a first impression. As you can see, I was just proving a point to our esteemed governor.
A cart full of spoiled vegetables. You call that a point?
Ha! Emerald Stair used to be a lush garden for miles around, and now I don't even recognize it. First came the invasive species, roots and mycelium growing overnight, as though nature itself had gone mad. The dream scourge has twisted our lands, our wildlife, and now our farms.
There may still be time to reverse the damage.
I believe that we can restore the land, bring back its soul and its sanity, cut off the dream scourge at the root. Our governor would rather ignore the problem. He doesn't trust animancy as his father did.
As usual, Giatta never misses a chance to slander me. I don't ignore her concerns, only her methods.
And you still do nothing. Before we can deal with the dream scourge, we first need to understand it. Unfortunately, new experiments have to go through him.
Once again, bureaucracy stands in the way of getting things done.
I'm just trying to stop Giatta from hurting herself. Animancy is dangerous when you're shooting in the dark. I see you're unfamiliar with animancy. You don't appreciate just how dangerous that could be. Are you going to tell him about your family's basement? Or should I?
How dare you use that against me?
I know it was an accident. But look what it cost you. We can't let it happen again.
While we argue among ourselves, the dream scourge is tearing the living lands apart. Tearing our people apart. It's nothing. Our governor is backed into a corner and lashing out. I almost respect him for it. Buy me a drink sometime, and I'll tell you all about my family's basement. All of the above. I have a lot of forgetting to do. Well, Governor, looks like I'm taking some time away from my duties. I'll trouble you no more.
Your request is denied, Giatta.
I wasn't asking.
Your responsibilities are to the settlement. Turning away from them sets a precedent that I cannot allow.
Everything I have proposed has been for Fior, and you still refuse to cooperate. Under the circumstances, I don't have much of a choice.
Then neither do I. Giatta Castel, from this day forth, you are banished from Fior Messiverno.
Banished?
What?
Ignacy, we can't lose our brightest animancer in the middle of a crisis.
Your pupil has gone too far, Quilici. Take her and leave. You're still a guest in my town, but to us, Giatta is an outcast. Perhaps, but I can't just let her continue to poison the minds of my animancers.
They aren't your animancers. Your father understood that.
Don't bother, old man. He isn't his father. I've done all I can for Fior Mesiverno. But you haven't even tried. Now limp back to your giant house like a good dog. We should talk somewhere private. Meet me at my house due west by the workshop.
Another mouth to feed. Maybe we'll need to let Kai hunt more after all.
I'm sorry you had to witness that spectacle. Jat is a spirited animancer, but she can be intolerable at times. Whatever you may think of us, I welcome you to Fior Mesiverno. Quilici wants us panicking over what he can't even prove. If there's a threat to Emerald Stair, it's that old man and his fear-mongering. Don't waste your time on him. He was loyal to my father, but never to me. And he knows how to rally others to his side.
He reminds me of a lieutenant I served under. Led us into a trap because he wouldn't admit his maps were wrong.
If there's nothing more, I have a city to run. The Steel Garrote? Here? Well, well. Apparently nature is not the only foe in Emerald Stair. Worse, my rangers turned a blind eye to it. Satisfy my curiosity. Why am I hearing this from the Adiran envoy? Don't you and the Steel Garrote share the same master? For my sake, I'm glad to hear it. Take this with my gratitude. And let us pray this is the last we've seen of the Steel Garrote.
Is this the governor's mother? Blessed a shame.
Ignacy, my hands. My hands. Maxim. No darkness. Only color.
Ignacy's mother is very ill. Please, don't disturb her anymore.
Consider yourself a guest in my town. I knew I heard someone snooping about. And you have the gall to confront me like a common criminal. This conversation is over. That is not a topic for discussion. I'll hear no more of this. You go about your business, and I'll go about mine.
Relax, Cool. Just asking questions.
What'll it be?
Come on. My invention is guaranteed to enlarge your essence.
Ado, welcome to my fine establishment, amigo.
I miss the days of old Maxime Vidaro.
Whatever happened to him?
No one.
That did not go as I had planned.
What did you think would happen when you confronted him so?
Well, my first idea was to mess up his house. Maybe break a window or two.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing restraint.
I'm sorry you had to see that. What an asshole.
Giata, some manners, if you please.
I thought she was being polite.
We're on the verge of extinction, but our governor is too busy protecting his fragile ego. What does he know? He isn't even an animancer.
You did challenge his authority.
I know, but... curses. Without Fior Messiverno, I'm hardly even an animancer. My tools, the workshop, all gone. We'll have fewer resources to work with, but anything's possible. At least now I'm free to study whatever I want, on my terms. The Dream Scourge has been a thorn in my side for too long. In a way, I do. I have plans for this island, and they don't involve the Dream Scourge. But that's a story for another day.
Your parents would be proud to see such tenacity.
Anyway, listen to us babble. Let's talk about you. I never expected to see an Adiran envoy here. You've got a lot of guts showing your face in a town full of animancers. Likewise, they should be educational for us both. Our first order of business is the Dream Scourge, but I'm also curious about you. There aren't many godlike left these days. Indeed. Some of my colleagues would fight me for the opportunity to study you. I only bring it up because animancy might offer us some insight into your nature. Keep an open mind. While I pack up my belongings, you can help me by... No, sorry. I don't know what came over me. I just realized this is the end. I have to leave Fior Messiverno. Forever.
Some people don't find out who they really are until they leave home.
You'll be alright. My advice, find a good tavern and learn how to prepare squirrel over an open flame.
Maybe if I focus on what I have gained, I can learn to accept everything I've lost. When it comes to the Dream Scourge, we haven't been allowed to acknowledge the problem, much less act on a solution. Today, that changes. I need help from the animancers around town, but as you can see, I'm an outcast. Don't worry. Ignacy can't banish us all. Manto Pastor is in the workshop due west. He's got an invention that can help us. Elia Rossell is an authority on the undead. Her methods are controversial, but useful. She lives in a cottage southeast of town. And then there's Yvette and Remy, our philosophers. You'll find them at the docks, southeast of Fior. Each of them owes me a favor. Drop my name and they'll tell you what they know about the Dream Scourge. I'd rather not speculate until we have more data. If you have questions, I'm sure the others can answer them. We're about to make history. But first, research.
Guessing she's not much of a hunter. Might want to get extra rations next time we go shopping.
Godlike, Imperial Envoy, Research Assistant. Who knew?
Envoy? Well, that was interesting, right? The woman arguing about the crops failing? Standing up for what you believe against authority. I can respect that. Of course, my method would have been run away under the cover of night, never to return, but yeah, this works for her. I don't know. In my experience, it's always the snake you don't see that bites you. Anyway, there's clearly more going on here than a bunch of animancers sitting in dusty labs doing whatever they do all day. Beyond that, nah, I can't help you. Call me when you're back to facing real danger. Right, changing the subject. Ask away. I haven't dealt with Delumgon and blights and such all that much. They usually don't bother you unless you step too far off the trail. Of course, that's pretty much a given in your line of work, so we're all doing things we're not used to doing. Still, if you have a choice between upsetting the forest and not doing that, think about it. Maybe consider that the Forest and Emerald Stair are known to hold a grudge. I get a weird feeling when I get close to Lake Lacuna. Like there's something there that shouldn't be. I think you know almost as much as I do at this point, Amakul. Not sure what else to say. I get a weird feeling when I get close to Lake Lacuna. Like there's something there that shouldn't be. Most of this is probably old information for you, but you asked. Less urgency for shelter here. You can find shrubs to block the wind or tree cover to protect from rain. There's also plenty of food around too, if you know where to look. Rule of thumb, if it's red, don't eat it. Or if it makes you itch. There's also just about any kind of game you can imagine. Just make sure whatever you catch doesn't have mushrooms growing out of its face. Oh, and be careful when you leave the roads. You never know when that deer you killed was some Delumgon's favorite pet. Right, changing the subject. Oh, good. Let's have it. Because it's not that interesting, really, and knowing about it won't keep you alive, and I don't like talking about it. So why pry? Wouldn't you rather your wilderness guide be happy and unburdened by thoughts of his past? I think there was a period of 3 days when I was in training, but I might have dreamt it. I remember sleeping a lot. Ha! Not without a sharp blade or a barrel of wodak, you won't. When I was a child in Solace, a warden named Alinka taught me the basics. What berries to eat, how to build a shelter, and so on. Later, I started going out on patrols, just to get experience in the wilds. By the time I was 15, I was going out on my own. No, she died on patrol in the Ash Forest several years back. By then, we already hadn't been speaking for years. We had a falling out over me sneaking out of the keep a few times when I was 17. Well, the few times she knew about. Turns out I was just good at surviving on my own. So I kept doing it, and I kept getting better at it. Right, changing the subject. Anyway, what do you need? Not before I've done some reading.
I hope you're ready to sleep with one eye open, because I doubt Ludwig sleeps at all. And after the send-off you gave the Steel Garrote squad in that cave, she'll have it out for you. I've got a feeling you've spared a lot of people more grief than they'll ever know. Normally, I'm not big on turning on your own, but the Steel Garrote take their beliefs too far. I'm glad you didn't let them do it here. You could have fooled me. Ludwig talks to Hilgard like a wayward cabin boy. I wonder if he's got the backbone to withstand her. Not you, though. You didn't hesitate. Your kind of clarity is rare. To know in the moment what you've got to do and do it. I envy that.
Kai's always doing things to help others, no matter the cost. It's going to get him killed one day.
You two are gonna make me blush, and purple's not my best color. But, thanks. Just be on the lookout. The Steel Garrote isn't likely to forgive and forget. Not a whole lot, and I've been happy keeping it that way. Playing around with essence, poking at souls, trying to move them out of and into places they shouldn't be, it makes me queasy. Though, if we're going to understand the Dream Scourge and your godlike lineage, I suppose we'll have to get comfortable with it. Still, I'm happy to leave those pursuits to other people.
Exactly. Other people. People who are a safe distance away.
Hundreds of years ago, if I remember my history. I can see why your people outlawed it. I've just always felt more comfortable with things I can see and grasp for myself. Don't get me wrong, most animancers are nice enough people. But even nice people get strange ideas from time to time. It's been years. It was always green and overgrown, but I don't remember it being quite this. Exactly. Something about Emerald Stair has always been unsettling. Everything in the Living Lands grows wild, but it's different here. Those giant roots, whatever they are, I don't remember them being quite as big or close to the settlement. Maybe. Either way, stay sharp while we're here. My favorite subject. He was my commander and thirdborn, but he was more than that too. A mentor, a friend. Tama helped me out when I first came to the Living Lands over a decade ago. I was still figuring myself out.
This is you, having figured yourself out.
Hey, now I know I can't stomach rusk snout milk. As for what we'll find, I don't know any more than you. I'm hoping for a good baking mold, but who knows? All I know is he said it was his most prized possession. And seeing as he was on his deathbed at the time, I wasn't of a mind to ask. Where to start? The man couldn't carry a tune, but it didn't stop him from trying. He'd have the whole tavern singing shanties with him nearly every night of the week. He had a vexing habit of saying the thing you most needed to hear when you were least ready to hear it. He'd give you the shirt off his back and the meat off his plate. But the selfish bastard left the rest of us a world without him in it. To a house full of his books, his dishes, his clothes, without him in it? You know how sometimes you leave a thing unfinished for too long and it just grows bigger and bigger in your mind? I just need to see what he left me. Whether it's one of his old books or one of those fossils he was always collecting. A sharpshooter would envy your accuracy, Envoy. I never thought of it like that, but yeah. Enough from me. We've got a long road ahead. You know where to find me.
Listen, Kai, I need you to stalk like a cat, not stomp around like a Balrog.
The Adra stirs, a crackle of light in a withered field. We recoil. We are unsure what we said. Mundane, a lifetime lived in silence. We forget this. We wilt, we gnaw with hunger now. What has come of this place? A pack without a leader, a crown upon a shaking cub. We feel them. They bend and hone the essence of the earth. They draw from our veins like a well. What are these rituals? A new tongue, an unfamiliar name. A harvest grows, the dead rise. What do they hope to achieve? Lift the shroud from the wheel. They build walls in their hearts. Why do they not share what they make? Adir sleeps across the sea. They are not troubled by the loss of kith. What do you say? Fire that burns the forest feeds the soil with its ash. We have learned much. Dream of soaring wings in your repose.
You know, I've heard dueling is popular in the Valian republics. You wouldn't think a public argument could feel as brutal, but I'll be damned if Giada didn't draw blood. I wish I could say the same. Living Landers can be contrarian and combative. That's what sends a lot of us here in the first place. But it's still hard to swim against the tide with your own people, especially when it means getting them to face a hard truth.
Agreed.
I'm with you both. And Giada. She knows who she is and what she believes. She's got more clarity and conviction than I had at her age.
She has more clarity than you have now.
Hey, I am a willing victim of my own delusions.
Can we just talk about something else?
Hey, don't worry. We're talking about Giada's situation.
Right. Like, what did you think I was talking about?
Anyway, this can't be an easy time for Giada, but I'm glad to have her on our side.
I think I sprained my shoulder.
Let's go. One for you!
Adiran, welcome back. No, and I don't expect to either. For better or worse, our fellow rebels have culled us from the herd. I fear it will not last for more than a week or two. Soon we must resolve to carry on with what we have. I knew someone would look for it eventually. Allow me to appeal to your better instincts, if you will. We tried. The Rangers have already hunted the region dry. Whatever food remains is barely edible from the blight. I feel the farmers' pain as keenly as I feel my own. But the crops are the crops. My people's lives are on the line. I have no choice. Compromise. The food we have is already barely enough.
Don't answer that.
Please. We took some supplies from Adiran soldiers. Yes. Incense, rose draught. It is useless to us. We are hungry, not ill. We would give it gladly. But what of this farmer? We have taken his livelihood. Are we to believe he would be satisfied with such a trade? Then I can hardly stand by and allow her to die in vain. Here, take what you need. We will pray for his family's health.
Right. Never expected that to work.
I admit I am unused to Adiran generosity. A promise I hope to see proven in time. May the skies smile upon you, Adiran.
Get me. Show me what you got.
That's all of them.
What about you? You're the envoy. Of all people, you should know. I was out hunting for springberries yesterday evening when I saw a group of soldiers in the woods. I didn't linger long. I didn't want them to notice me, but they were adhering. I'm sure of it. I spotted 3. There may have been a 4th, but it was getting dark. I also saw the most unusual woman. She was alone, but I couldn't see her face behind the cowl and mask. An inquisitor? Here? In Emerald Stair? What did I tell you?
Barrett's bells, give it a rest.
I wouldn't have taken Ludwig for a walk in the woods type. But who knows?
There you are. Did you deal with those bandits? You did what? You actually found treatment for her? But you let them keep the crops? Why would you do a thing like that? And they'll still prosper. They should have given me both as an apology. Now I'll have to go bow and scrape to the Grain Commission for help. I don't need it. I wouldn't have needed it if you hadn't gotten involved. Of course not. It's not about pride. It's about a husband's duty. Gods. Fine. I'll go when it's quiet, when no one can see me. But nothing happened here. Understand? What I tell my family is up to me.
A hand to aid the other. Succor for those with eyes to see.
Let me at least pay you. It's not much, but it's what I can afford. Fine. But I won't let people think I let you work for free. Take this. A nobleman gave it to my grandfather, I think. Next time they come for my harvest, I'll be ready. I tell you that.
Take your best shot.
Right. This place has seen better days.
Watch yourselves.
Another win, but who's counting? Win and fewer, yes.
I'm right.
Take him down. This is mine. Coming from the right. Left leg.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
You don't think the Claviger died alone and was strangled? Oh! Envoy! Hello! Are you sure it's him? How many other godlike have come through lately? What can we do for you? Of course. Wouldn't you want to find out if they were headed here? You went in to save the Claviger, didn't you? What did you see? That's terrible. Thank the gods you survived.
They say your ambassador was standing right by the body. Is that true? Maybe he'd found a good hiding place. He doesn't sound very brave.
Then you were killed too, though. Oh, that can't be a coincidence. Fighting the Empire's conspiracies, I bet.
Thanks for stopping by. She'll be chewing on all that for days.
Oh, it's you.
Even if we want to stop them, we may not be able to.
I'm being... It's the principle.
What's that say? Founded machine.
What do you think of Giatta's theory?
Well, my experiment have been so
Unpredictable. Like the essence has no sense of direction. How did you know?
The other is healthy. It's the essence I'm concerned about.
This again.
I ask. Someone.
Sound like
I can't let anyone else discover this.
I'm sure her mother and father were onto something, and look what happened to them.
Oh,
I heard there was a new arrival, but I didn't expect a godlike. Welcome to our modest workshop. Well, maybe to you, but I was educated in the great laboratories of Spirento, in the halls of experimentation. But you didn't journey all this way to hear me reminisce about the old country. More than most, but less than I would like. Unfortunately, I cannot do a lick of research while my equipment is underpowered and overworked. Yes, her theory of the dream scourge, I'm quite familiar. What I need is a stronger power source. We can't make something out of nothing. We're still limited by our resources. I could use a large single block of Atra, but harvesting it is difficult in this environment. Oh, wait. One of our rangers reported that an Adragon recently died in a western grove. As you've seen, Envoy, there are many unusual things happening lately. An Adragon's heart can hold an immense amount of essence. The grove is to the west across the chasm. You can't miss it. The rangers say a Delamgan queen holds court there. You may be able to retrieve it without violence, but most Delamgan in these parts are hostile to Keith. So you can understand why none of us went rushing over there to find it when we heard the Adragon had died. Still, Delamgan queens can be reasoned with, so if you want to get the heart peacefully, try not to kill her guards. Do be careful. Emerald Stair is not itself these days.
Well, let's go. That Atragon's heart isn't gonna yank itself out.
My farmhands are very affectionate. Feel free to pet them if you like. Giata Castel wants my professional opinion. What an honor! I have a few theories, but no firm conclusions. I have to ask, is it true? Did Vidaro kick her out of town? He's a bigger fool than I thought. Very well. I'll tell you what I know about the Dream Scourge. But first, I need some help around the farm. I'm up to my ears in chores around here, and the Revenants can only do so much. They can't do complicated tasks, you see. Anyway, I'm afraid the time has come to put down poor Silvo. You did? That was quick. Poor Silvo. He was a bright young Revenant, but a very old man. Thank you for giving him peace. You wouldn't know it to look at him, but on a full stomach, he was as gentle as a lamb. So, the Dream Scourge. I've been keeping an eye on the readings from my fields. This plague, as we know it, is a recent development. But I believe whatever causes it is older by far. Maybe even as old as the living lands. The exotic plants and animals, the twisted landscape, the Dream Scourge. They have a common ancestor. There's something about the essence in the living lands that's different from anywhere else I've seen. Precisely my point. There is something unique at the heart of this. Not to get too superstitious, but in these troubled times, the arrival of a godlike is no coincidence. You are meant to be here. Toward what end, only you can say. Animancer's tug at the curtain between life and death. But only death can draw it open to reveal that truth. You and Giata are going to shake things up. As for me, I'll be keeping a close eye on my flock.
Oh, and thank you for the nightmare review. Really have been sleeping with you. Entirely too well lately.
I'm remembering why people find this place unsettling.
Did you hear the chat? Remy, look what I found. A genuine godlike.
Do you think they can hear us?
Let's find out. Hello, me, Yvette. You friend? Remy, take a note. The endangered godlike's vacant gaze betrays an unquenchable thirst for violence. We heard that Giada partnered up with an outsider. But I had no idea you were a godlike. Fascinating.
It's just that we've never met a godlike before. This is a big day for us.
Giata must have sent you to be our test subject. She knows how we adore your kind. Satisfy our curiosity and we'll give you everything Giata needs to finish her research. Deal? We want to know about the godlike, of course. You're the first one we've encountered in the wild.
Let's begin the examination. If you could choose, who or what would you be in your next life? Next time you go round the wheel, you might not get so lucky. Ooh, good answer.
My turn. Some would call you blessed. Others would call you cursed. The fact remains, you were touched by the gods. Wouldn't you say that you owe something to the rest of us? So, you believe we need your help. Interesting.
Oh, I thought of another. We all know that godlike can't reproduce. How do you plan on leaving a legacy after you're gone? Oh, didn't anyone tell you? Oh dear, Yvette. I think we've hit a sore topic. Shame you had to learn it from us. Do you have an answer or not? Very optimistic, aren't we? I think that covers everything. Thank you for that brilliant insight, godlike. You're a credit to your dwindling kind.
So, Giada wants to know all about the Dream Scourge, yes? Such has been her research of late. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
There's no cure for the Dream Scourge, much in the way that there's no cure for an avalanche.
Giada will be interested to learn that the Dream Scourge cannot just be studied in a lab. Its nature is wild, so it has to be studied in the wild. Our machines and experiments would meddle with it too much.
And like anything affecting the soul, it must be connected to essence. Thus, if she wishes to discover more about the Dream Scourge, a Pillar of Adra would be a good place to start.
That wouldn't surprise me. Both are natural occurrences, after all. Terrible, but quite natural.
Most natural things are. Terrible, that is.
An entity, you say? If this entity is your patron, that's all perfectly natural. But if it's something else, with enough essence and a capable animancer, perhaps you could trace this tether back to its source.
Right, and with a little fresh sake, you can follow an ogre back to its lair. Still wouldn't recommend it.
Just be careful that your tether doesn't snap back and kill you in the process.
Now that we've researched the mind of a godlike, the next step is anatomy. But we've taken enough of your time. Farewell.
Hurry, before they change their minds.
Ugh, I might have dozed off there for a bit. Were any of those words the ones we needed?
bad, Marius.
Seems like a waste to me. It means something to them.
Aim where? Oh, no, you die! Get over here!
Look right.
No, sorry. Give me a target.
Come and get me!
Nice job. Nice job, everyone.
Watch the left.
Nothing like a win with a good team.
Something's not right here.
Here we go! Watch yourselves.
This must be near the spot that cartographer mentioned.
Salutations, traveler. Welcome to lovely Naku Tadek. It's seen better times, but it's still a marvel of ancient architecture. Oh, but I forget myself. I'm Alyssa, a wanderer and explorer, and sometimes even a merchant. Like now. Care to see my wares? Yeah, I get it. Truth be told, I'm mainly here to study the ruins. Nothing wrong with picking up some profits on the side, though, huh? Between spare supplies and interesting finds, I've got a few things that I wouldn't mind parting with. That being said, care to see what I have?
Last shot. That it? Here they come. Everyone okay?
Well, that's a police station.
godless ruins before. Never went any closer than this.
Have you spoken to Alfonso? He seems in a low spirits.
You didn't hear? Someone desecrated the shrine. This is a spiritual.
It's about the reliquary. It needs the world to be excellent. Take it out.
Welcome back. From the depths of my soul, I thank you. May their poor souls find peace in their rest.
Perfecto. Return when you have more to claim.
to our streets. And where did it get him? Slain, murdered. We must stand against tyranny.
You're back. Fletcher! Oh, I was sure she would be safe. Her maps were so meticulous. She even made her own ink. Please, keep searching. I'm sure the others will turn up soon.